So last week we talked a little bit about the benefits of ingesting onions internally and how great they are for you. And today I wanted to offer up how great onions can be for you medicinally. And this is not medical advice. These are just ways that I've used onions at home to treat things such as a cold or cough, an earache, and an ingrown toenail. And if you recall, onions are kind of, we call them a drawer. They can draw things to them, but they also have a thing called quercetin. And quercetin is an anti-inflammatory. So for instance, my daughter had an ingrown toenail, and her toe was really red and swollen, and she came home from school and could barely walk. And so what we did was I took a raw onion and I sliced it, and then I put the onion on her toe. So this was probably about from 4 o'clock and through the next morning. So I put the onion right on the toe, just wrapped it with some paper, or not tissue paper, but hand towels, that is, paper ones, and then we put a sock over that. So the onion was right there on that inflamed toe, and in the morning when she got up, although she still had pain, a lot of the redness had gone down due to what I was talking about, that quercetin and other properties in the onion, such as its antibacterial, antifungal, and so forth. So we took that off in the morning. The toe was still a little inflamed, but she was able to get her foot in a shoe. I did put a Band-Aid on that, and she didn't want an onion going to school on her foot. So I put a little bit of the onion juice and then put a Band-Aid on that again, just so it'd have some, again, a little anti-inflammatory action while she was at school all day. She came home from school, we took off the Band-Aid, and what was so great was that the onion had drawn up to the surface a lot of where the infection was. So she had kind of a blister that was full of pus, and I told her to get in the shower and just get that wet and warm, and then it was just easily opened once it got warm. We just kind of gently pressed on the toe until it was clear of all the pus, and then I just let the toe breathe. We just put a cotton sock on it. She didn't want another onion on it that evening. However, if she did not have a blister and it was still swollen, then I would have applied an onion a second evening on the toe in the same fashion I did the first night. So anyway, the next morning, having cleared that infection out, she was good to go. She could then participate in soccer because she had missed 2 days because of her toe. And it really was a quick way of speeding up the recovery time for something like that. And kids respond so quickly anyway to anything that's herbal or medicinal, and so it was really happy for her. She was very happy that she didn't have to have a more situation where she had to go into the doctor. And I want to tell you another way we've used onions is when someone has a cough, in particular at night when it's difficult to sleep, and it involves a cough medicine and applying onions to the bottom of your feet. So the cough medicine, what we do is we chop an onion. We put about 1/4 inch of raw onion in a mason jar, and then you put a spoonful of raw honey, and then you're going to layer it. And you're going to do another layer of of the raw onions, and then the raw honey. And you're just going to do that until the onion is gone. If more than one person has a cough, you might want to use two or more onions, but 1 onion should be enough for 1 person. So when you're done cutting, you just put the lid back on, you let it sit for 24 hours. If it's only 18 hours or 15 hours, it will still work. It's just 24 would be great, because what happens is there's an enzymatic action between the onions and the honey, and you'll end up with a lot of liquid, and that liquid is going to be your cough syrup. So you'll just drain out the onions, you'll put the liquid back in the jar, and you can keep that in the refrigerator I keep mine during like a cold and flu season, so anywhere from 2 to 3 months. And if there's a cough at night or a sore throat, we just take a spoonful of that, because the cough medicines that I find in the stores have so many chemicals in them, and I don't like using them for that reason. And this really just tastes like honey. It doesn't have a strong onion flavor. Now you could add, say, garlic to that, and that will be a little more pungent. But I find that even just the onions and the honey really do work quite well. And I've had my daughter even say after one spoonful, like she really thought that helped kick her sore throat or her cough. So while you're doing the syrup, what you also can do at the same time or separately is chop an onion, raw onion again, put that on a paper towel, and you're going to put your foot right on top of that. And then you're going to take a grocery plastic sack and you're going to put that over the foot and tie it like around the ankle, and you will actually sleep with the onions right there on the bottom of your feet. And those medicinal properties we talked about can go right into the feet, and your body knows what to do with it and where it needs to go. And that can really help someone reduce their coughing at night. And so again, it has the quercetin and all the antibacterial, antifungal, and your feet have really large pores. And that's why you may have heard a lot of people add essential oils to the bottom of their feet. This is the same concept because it's easily taken in and drawn into the body. So if you've never tried any home remedies or poultices or compresses, this is a really easy way to try and dabble in that world of home remedies.